Have you ever tossed a Lincoln Wheat Penny into a jar without even looking at it? That could be the biggest mistake you ever make. Right now, hidden wealth is sitting in pockets, drawers, old coffee cans, and forgotten coin collections all across America. Nobody talks about these coins, yet collectors are fighting over certain rare wheat pennies for staggering amounts of money. We're talking about real auction shock, silent fortune, and coins that can completely change everything for the person lucky enough to find one. So before you spend another penny, check your pocket now and pay very close attention. Do not spend these coins. In today's USA MintX countdown, we're revealing 3 incredibly valuable Lincoln Wheat Pennies, and each one gets rarer, more mysterious, and more valuable than the last. Stay with me until the end, because what comes next could be worth more than most people earn in years. Coin number 1. What if the most valuable coin in your collection isn't the brightest one, the oldest one, or even the rarest looking one? What if it's the penny that appears almost too ordinary to notice? That's exactly why so many people accidentally lose fortunes every single year. The 1948 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark is one of those coins that quietly slips through people's fingers while collectors search relentlessly for exceptional examples. And when the right specimen appears, the reaction can be shocking. At first glance, this coin doesn't look like a celebrity. It doesn't announce its value. It doesn't sparkle like gold or shine like silver. Instead, it sits there with beautiful brown surfaces mixed with natural green spotting that tells a story stretching back generations. To most people, it's just an old penny. To serious collectors, it can represent hidden wealth worth an incredible $394,000. This is not fiction. The year 1948 was a fascinating moment in American history. The nation was adjusting to a rapidly changing post-war economy. Industries were transforming, consumer demand was exploding, and everyday commerce relied heavily on coinage, moving through banks, stores, and pockets across the country. The United States needed enormous numbers of cents to keep commerce flowing smoothly. Under that pressure, coin production remained intense. Dies wore down. Equipment operated continuously. Millions of coins entered circulation. Most eventually disappeared through spending, damage, corrosion, and neglect. Yet a tiny number survived with remarkable eye appeal and characteristics that collectors dream about finding today. And that's where this story becomes interesting. The absence of a mint mark is actually one of the first things collectors examine. Many people assume a coin without a mint mark is missing something important. Experienced collectors know better. On a 1948 wheat penny, no mint mark means the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. That tiny missing letter becomes one of the first clues in determining exactly what you're holding. Most people never check. Collectors always do. Take a close look at the obverse or front side of the coin. Abraham Lincoln's portrait dominates the design, facing toward the right. Above his head appears, "In God We Trust." To the left is liberty. The date 1948 sites prominently on the right side. While these details seem simple, collectors inspect every line, every curve, and every tiny design element under magnification. Even the sharpness of Lincoln's hair can influence desirability. Turn the coin over, and you'll find one of the most beloved designs in American numismatic history. 2 elegant wheat stalks frame the center of the reverse. Between them are the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above sits E pluribus unum. The design feels classic, timeless, and unmistakably American. For many collectors, wheat pennies are more than coins. They're pieces of history they can physically hold in their hands. Now let's talk about what this coin actually feels like, because authentic specifications matter. The 1948 wheat penny was struck primarily from a bronze alloy composed of approximately 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. That composition gives the coin its distinctive appearance and aging characteristics. A genuine example weighs approximately 3.11 grams. Its diameter measures roughly 19.05 millimeters. Its thickness is approximately 1.52 millimeters. Its circular girth remains consistent with standard Lincoln Wheat cents of the era. These measurements may sound technical, but collectors rely on them constantly. Even small deviations can raise questions about authenticity or damage. What makes this particular coin especially captivating is its beautiful combination of brown surfaces and green spotting. New collectors often assume green coloration is automatically bad. Experienced collectors know the truth is much more complicated. Natural aging can create stunning visual character. When copper interacts with the environment over decades, unique colors can develop. Sometimes those colors create a rich antique appearance that collectors absolutely love. Original toning often becomes part of the coin's personality, making one example stand out from thousands of others. This detail changes everything. Many of the highest valued coins aren't perfect looking in the modern sense. They're authentic. They're original. They tell a story. That's why one of the biggest mistakes a coin owner can make is attempting to improve the appearance. Never clean the coin. Not lightly, not carefully, not even once. The moment cleaning removes the original surface, value can disappear forever. Collectors pay premiums for originality. They want to see the coin exactly as time preserved it. Those brown surfaces and green spots may be part of what makes the coin desirable. Original toning matters. Professional grading is critical. Without professional authentication and grading, many collectors simply won't consider paying top dollar. Certification provides confidence and helps establish market value in a competitive environment. And competition is exactly what happens when exceptional examples become available. Auction rooms can become surprisingly tense. Bidders who appear calm on the surface may have been waiting years for a chance at a specific coin. They study photographs. They compare surfaces. They analyze preservation quality. Then, when the bidding begins, prices can climb rapidly. Why? Because supply keeps shrinking. Every year more coins are lost, damaged, cleaned, or improperly stored. Truly desirable examples become harder to locate. Meanwhile, collector demand continues growing as more people discover the excitement of rare Lincoln Wheat pennies. Some collectors refuse to sell once they acquire a special piece. They hold it, protect it, pass it to the next generation. That behavior creates scarcity, and scarcity creates value. Today, an exceptional 1948 Lincoln Wheat penny with no mint mark, beautiful preservation, and strong collector appeal can command an estimated market value of around $394. That's serious money hidden inside a coin most Americans would never examine twice. Imagine finding one in an old family collection. Imagine discovering one in a forgotten box. Imagine realizing that a single penny you've ignored for years could represent a life-changing opportunity. That's why patience matters. Check the date first. Inspect the mint mark area carefully. Preserve the original surfaces. Avoid cleaning. Seek professional grading. And remember that the coins people overlook are often the ones that create the biggest surprises. Because hidden wealth rarely announces itself. It hides in plain sight. It waits quietly. And then one day, someone realizes they're holding a silent fortune. But don't go anywhere, because the next coin is even more unbelievable. Its story is stranger, its collector demand is fiercer, and the reason experts desperately search for it may be the most shocking discovery in this entire countdown. Next up, picture this for a moment. You're sorting through a jar of old coins, and one penny catches your eye, not because it's shiny, not because it's beautiful, but because it looks unusually dark. There are black spots scattered across the surface. The color seems aged, almost forgotten. Most people would toss it aside without a second thought. That mistake could cost them a fortune. The 1934 Lincoln Wheat Penny, with no mint mark, is one of those extraordinary coins that hides its value behind an ordinary appearance. In fact, some of the most sought-after examples have survived precisely because nobody recognized what they were. Today, collectors are willing to pay astonishing sums for exceptional specimens, and certain examples have reached an estimated market value of $418,000. Think about that. A single penny. A coin many people would spend without hesitation. A tiny piece of American history that could represent hidden wealth, serious money, and a life-changing opportunity. Do not spend this coin. The story begins during one of the most challenging periods in American history. In 1934, the United States was still dealing with the economic struggles of the Great Depression. Families were watching every penny. Businesses were fighting to survive. Money carried a different meaning than it does today. Every cent mattered. Coins passed rapidly from hand to hand because Americans depended on them for everyday transactions. As millions of pennies circulated through stores, banks, and households, very few people imagined that decades later, collectors would hunt specific examples with near-obsessive determination. This is where rarity often begins. Not necessarily at the mint, but through survival. Most 1,934 pennies were spent, worn down, damaged, lost, or melted over time. The number of attractive survivors remaining today is dramatically smaller than the number originally produced. That's one reason collector demand continues to grow. Now let's look at this coin itself. On the obverse or front side, you'll find Abraham Lincoln's portrait facing right. Above him appears the familiar inscription, "In God We Trust." To the left is the word liberty, while the date 1934 sits on the right side. Simple, elegant, timeless. But collectors don't see simplicity. They see details. They examine Lincoln's cheek, hair strands, jawline, and every design element under magnification. Tiny differences can dramatically affect desirability and value. Turn the coin over to the reverse, and you'll see the iconic wheat penny design. Two wheat stalks curve upward along the edges, surrounding the inscriptions, 1 cent and United States of America. Above those words is E pluribus unum. For generations of Americans, this design traveled unnoticed through daily life. Today, it sparks bidding wars. And this particular coin has something collectors find incredibly intriguing. No mint mark. Most people never pay attention to that empty space beneath the date. Experienced collectors immediately do. A 1934 wheat penny without a mint mark indicates production at the Philadelphia Mint. That missing letter becomes a critical part of the coin's identity. Sometimes what isn't there is just as important as what is. Now let's talk about physical specifications, because authentic measurements matter enormously in the collector market. The 1934 Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck using a bronze composition consisting primarily of 95% copper, with the remaining percentage made up of tin and zinc. A genuine example weighs approximately 3.11 grams. Its diameter measures approximately 19.05 millimeters. Its thickness is about 1.52 millimeters. Its circular girth remains consistent with standard wheat cents of the era, creating the familiar feel collectors recognize instantly. These numbers may seem small, but serious collectors pay close attention to them because authenticity is everything. One of the most fascinating aspects of this particular coin is the presence of black spots. To an inexperienced eye, those spots may appear undesirable. To knowledgeable collectors, they can tell a completely different story. Natural aging, environmental exposure, and decades of storage conditions can create dark spotting across copper surfaces. In some cases, these features become part of the coin's character and originality. They serve as reminders that this piece has traveled through nearly a century of American history. Most people miss this. Collectors don't chase perfection. They chase authenticity. That's why original surfaces are so important. And that's why one warning cannot be repeated enough. Never clean the coin. Cleaning removes history. Cleaning removes originality. Cleaning can permanently destroy value. A coin that has survived for generations with natural surfaces is often far more desirable than one that has been artificially brightened. Original toning matters. Original color matters. Even those black spots may matter. The second a collector notices cleaning hairlines or altered surfaces, confidence can disappear. And when confidence disappears, value often follows. This is why professional grading is critical. Professional grading services authenticate the coin, evaluate its condition, and help establish trust in the marketplace. For a valuable coin, that certification can make a tremendous difference. Now consider the emotional side of collecting. Why do collectors become obsessed with coins like this? Because they're chasing something rare, something difficult to replace, something that connects them directly to another era. Every year, fewer untouched examples remain available. Some disappear into long-term collections and never return to the market. Others are inherited and carefully preserved by families who understand their significance. As supply decreases, competition increases. Collectors monitor auctions constantly. They wait patiently. Then suddenly, when a desirable example appears, quiet interest turns into aggressive bidding. What looked like an ordinary penny becomes the center of attention. This is not fiction. It happens again and again. And that's exactly why values continue attracting headlines. Today, an exceptional 1,934 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, displaying attractive originality, black spotting, and very fine preservation, can reach an estimated market value of approximately $418,000. That's hidden wealth. That's a silent fortune. That's the kind of discovery that changes how people look at every coin they own. If you're lucky enough to find one, check the date first. Verify the missing mint mark. Examine the surfaces carefully. Avoid touching the coin excessively. Store it properly. Never attempt cleaning. And seek professional grading before making any decisions. Patience creates wealth in coin collecting. Rushing creates mistakes. The people who uncover the biggest treasures are often the ones who take a second look when everyone else walks away. Because sometimes the darkest, most overlooked penny in the jar isn't damaged at all. Sometimes it's a fortune hiding in plain sight. Sometimes it's the treasure everyone else accidentally spent. And that's what makes rare Lincoln Wheat Pennies so unforgettable. One small coin, one extraordinary story, one discovery that could change everything.